All right, guys. How are you guys doing today? Welcome to
Hey,
our
everybody.
first official episode of Much. I said how them, not you. But
What? I was saying
well,
them.
okay, all right. Just make sure we're on the same page.
Oh, well, of course we are.
Good job, co-partner. Good way to start it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this is our first official episode of Emotion. We've had a long run while, and I know we had a very long summer. Honestly, right? Did you have a long
The-
summer, Chris?
It was a very interesting summer, that's for sure.
Okay, no, that's good. You know,
Mhm.
it was different. You're right. Honestly, every summer that goes is different for me. And we have behind our field on our engineer spot, Mitchell. You want to say hi to our local followers?
Hello, and it's still summer. Don't you dare quit my 1 week.
Hey, Mitch.
Oh, good. So basically, we've done a lot of different things. We've seen a lot of different things on our Instagram. So we're in a very strong motion at this point. So with that being said, we all remember what happened in 2020. COVID happened. It was really tough. Tough situation for small businesses
To
and
say the
just
least, yeah.
in general
Bears.
in general area. So now we're finally at that point. Like, we were all thinking, where are we gonna go from the moment? What was gonna happen? Like, how are we gonna build ourselves back to normal? How are we gonna put ourselves in a normal position? And a lot of people are spraying out the words the new norm. And I'm like, what do you mean the new norm? What do you mean by that? Like,
Yeah.
people got their own way of saying what norm is. Like, what does that mean? What is normal? So what I'm basically saying is, what we're talking about today is what is normal, and that is a very broad question, and it's
Very
very
much so, yeah.
black and white,
Mhm.
and it's very like basic. That question is in many different directions, though, because you know what?
Take different
Well,
forms.
it's also an opinion thing too, because some people say, "Oh, you're not normal," or "You're just being weird about it," or you know what? That's not a normal thing to do. Well, what is normal to you? So that's the big thing here. What is normal to you? And we're gonna try to break that down or kind of slowly make sense. Now, will everything actually fully make sense? That is for your opinion to really understand. But
That's
we're
for you
just
to
kind of
decide,
like,
folks,
we're gonna crack open a textbook and really kind of like put a base on it.
because the definition of normal is really a point of view. Like everyone has their own definition. I would assume. When you say,
No, I mean,
Your
I
definition?
would honestly
I have
say
my
that.
definition of normal. And yeah, so what is normal, Aaron? For you, what is normal?
What is normal?
How's
Normal is being, me, and it's being kind of like how I want to perceive, And what I mean by how to perceive, I mean just generally going to the base of, okay, this is what I do. This is what makes me feel comfortable. Well, first it starts with a mentality set, because you can't do a physical moment and then, not have a mentality set behind it. The mentality is what helps the physical motion, go first. So it's like, this is the controller, while this is the final effect that happens. So your brain has to usually think of it before you actually move. I mean, don't you agree? Isn't that like what we humans are built to do? We have to think of something before we actually make the move. Like, I'm gonna go this way, so now you're actually gonna go that way because you thought of it first and then you actually decided to do it.
Mhm.
Now, I used to have this thing, and partially still has this thing where it's like, okay, so my brain is not me and my body. And you ever get that feeling like your body's always moving, your body's always constantly going.
kind of like an out of body experience?
Yeah, but like your body's moving to a rate, but your mind is just like, I'm tired. Like you're not thinking fully straight, but you have the energy to move.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've had those moments. Have you had those moments?
Autopilot.
Yeah, it's like it sounds like it's for I guess for that sounds like it's kind of like for you. My interpretation is like you're not in like you're both your mind and your body aren't in sync. And so if in that sense, if that happens to you, would you consider that not being normal for you, or is it something?
Honestly, it's not only like where I figured to be normal for me. I just figure it's like a certain effect. Like so when the grass, like this is probably the most weirdest way I can ever explain this, but you know
We'll take
what?
any examples?
Exactly. What's normal today?
Yeah.
Okay, so when the grass grows,
Okay.
it grows and grows,
It grows.
and then eventually, hopefully, you get a landscape guy.
It's gonna keep growing.
Well, it's gonna keep growing, but then when
Yeah.
you get a landscaper guy, he's gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna eventually cut it. Hopefully, it's not too high, but
Yeah.
like he cuts it, and then it goes over again, and then it keeps going. It's a process.
Mhm.
So like to answer that question out of that whole lawnmower thing, that was just an example, meaning that I feel like it's something that just naturally happens.
Yeah.
At least within my pertaining stake. And this could be totally out of the unskew matter of somebody's other definition of normal, but like I feel like it just shows, it lets me know that okay, I need to rest. Like you can have the energy to do certain things, and then you can also be like, okay, so my mind, like you ever heard the expression, my mind's not here today? Like my mind's not in what we're doing. Like you could be doing something, you're like,
Yeah,
I'm mentally not here, but my body's still actually physically moving.
or like
You've heard of that though?
yeah, I've heard it, but like
Okay.
sometimes you I mean, how people say your heart's not into something, or like, I mean, yeah, of course, my mind and body, heart and mind.
Yeah.
It's important to keep those in sync. And so, like when you're doing your day-to-day activities, you're at work or you're doing a project or anything you do, and if you don't, like, if I would say if you don't keep those in sync and in balance, then that really affects, it could affect people, affect myself and you in a negative way. And I mean, I guess in that sense, for me, like when those aren't in sync, for me that's not normal, because I want to keep myself going. I want to pile through whatever I'm doing, and I do it with energy and a smile and a sense of humor, especially for me. So yeah.
So like what I'm hearing here now is like when it comes to being normal, there's a routine.
Yeah, I mean,
And this is what I was trying to go with. This is the example I was
Yeah.
trying to go. When the grass grows, you cut it and then it grows back again.
That's a routine.
It's a cycle.
It's a cycle.
It's a
Yeah.
cycle.
And so yeah.
Actually, so a fun fact about the grass is it didn't become normal for the lawns to be short until
Uh-huh.
I think it was like Queen Elizabeth catalog where they found out that, oh, this is how she has her lawn, so that everyone else to have the normality of, they want their lawns to be like that too. So if you go to like Ireland or something like that, their grass is actually kind of tall, natural,
Okay.
overgrown, as we would say. But in America, we adopted the idea of what is normal.
Mhm.
So
yeah, like you said, it was Ireland, right?
oh yeah,
So like, yeah, so they got longer grass in Ireland, we got shorter grass. And again, yeah, like based on how their cultures view it, how history was formed on their end, norms change, like with different cultures and countries. And like it really, it goes to show, like, normal really isn't normal for a lot of people. It really totally depends on different perspectives. What's my normal? What's his normal? What's your normal? And like, what's a normal thing? A norm in the United States? What's the norm in Ireland? Shorter grass, longer grass. Really, like I said, it's perspective.
So normal is a basic generalization of what is your process, what helps you do what you do in the morning, what
Mhm.
helps you get ready for your day, what helps you, what helps you pick up the pieces to grow, not to generally, get up and do that and just have a bad day. Because honestly, first of all, you'll never know when a bad day or a good day is coming.
No,
And
you don't.
honestly, that's probably scary to think of about itself. Like you just kind of you just do it. You just do it. Like Nike, just do it.
Okay.
You just
Or
that's it.
Shia LaBeouf, that's a whole.
Yeah. But like, you just go about on how that works. And like
Yeah.
my thing is like, all right, so this is how I'm going to perceive about doing something.
Mhm.
But like, if I'm just gonna keep going and keep going. And like I said, being in the world not fully peaches and cream, things are gonna happen. You're gonna come in conflict, especially if you come out of your house and finally decide to get out of your mom's basement, you're gonna experience things. And like,
Try something different.
try something different.
That is breaking the norm for you, but it's it could lead to something that actually is enlightening, and it'll become the new norm for you. Whatever you try to do and you like it and you want to keep doing it, it becomes the norm. Yeah. So you might actually have a routine. You have a cycle, but every once in a while you got to break that cycle to try new things. And when you do that, maybe you'll become a better person. Maybe you'll
We'll see, but that also comes with trying to introduce things to those, because you know what, everyone wants to go and do their normal thing. I do this every Tuesday, I do this every Thursday, I do this every Saturday, and just general things that keep them busy, because everybody wants to be occupied, everybody wants to do something. But like, well, yeah, but some people don't know how to do that. Some people don't know how to occupy their time. And so for them, it's like, okay, so some people just do this just so they can get out the house, or some people like do an extra job because they just don't got nothing going. And you know what comes with that is also passion.
Mhm.
You got to have a passion to generally strive and generally to try new things.
Of course.
If you're not trying different things,
Yeah.
well, what do you know what's really out there?
Yeah. I like I have an example, but like with like having a routine and spending your time on certain things. I have a friend who like always tells me to, spend my time wisely. To don't put your like your heart and soul into something that will not give you the results that you think they will. I mean, yeah, I feel like you got to strive. You got to push forward, and like you might have some naysayers, people that say like, oh, I don't think that's going to be a good thing for you to do. I mean, you take their advice, but you try to pile forward, try to find your path, find your way, and try to break out of like your cycle and find new norms. And maybe kind of lost like a bit of what I was saying, but what I mean is, what do I mean, Aaron? What?
All right, I think I can try to elapse a little bit on that.
What do you think? What do you think?
Yeah,
I had a thought, but I got kind of like.
Yo, let me help you.
What do you think? What do you
Let me help you.
What do you think?
All right, okay. So I'm thinking where you were trying to go is that you have a cycle. You're trying to make things in an embedded moment, but like it's not wrong to slowly adapt new areas and new particles
As you
into that
should.
area, because you know what, and like you said, it could be something even small, like you say, for example, you go around, you ride your bike this and that, every this time, between this time and that time, but then every once in a while you'll get a little hungry. You'll be like, oh, I want like a nice little bagel, cream and cheese, and you know what, I'll stop here for it. It's not my normal cycle, it's not my normal day routine, but you know what, my stomach's pounding. It's pounding me. So you know what? I'm gonna go get a bagel. You know what? Why not? Let me get a sausage, egg, and cheese.
Yeah.
You know what? And don't forget the pepper and ketchup. That is good. Okay. But like say yeah, just a little tiny something out of your normal routine, and that slowly builds into something else. So that's what you're talking about. A little bit of the new norm.
Mhm.
So like I'm assuming that's what you're coming with. That like you becomes that because you tried that little thing in your normal routine.
Mhm.
And we're still speaking on the fact that normal is what normal's for you. We're not saying normal is normal. Like, I can act like a nut job and people say that's not normal. Well, of course it's not, because you don't know you don't know what I'm thinking when I'm doing what I'm doing. I could be acting for a play for all I know. And that's not
right.
normal to act for a play.
You could be method acting. You could be Daniel Day-Lewis. You don't know. But yeah, it's
But if you start screaming like a banshee, that might be
it could be normal to them.
Yeah.
It could be.
I hear people screaming like a banshee.
It could be normal for them.
lost my train of thought.
but yeah, I mean, I think getting back to what I was trying to say, like there's some people they try not to actually get themselves into a repeating cycle, because they feel like if they do that, things will get stagnant. At least in their opinion, like they can't sit through long periods of like sitting in a chair, do it like maybe watching a movie like or a TV show, and or they don't want to like find themselves doing the same thing over and over again, because if they do, then again it gets stagnant for them. It might get boring, and then they later down the line they might feel like, why did I do this all this time when I could have been doing this? I could have been doing that. And like so like sometimes for some people, norm is not necessarily what they want. They want something to be extraordinary, or against the grain, just to keep their lives a little more interesting, a little more lively, But like, so yeah, like some people might look at normal in a negative way, actually, if you think about it, because if it's normal to them, sometimes that might be considered boring. I think that was like kind of like part of my thought that I had bouncing around here. What you have any
That's
comment?
why I keep getting the cuckoo bird.
Oh, hold on. What was that? Let's see what's it. That was my phone.
Anyways, I got an interesting question.
What's that?
So, if the word weird means out of the ordinary, but the ordinary people in the room are weird, does that make me normal?
Depends.
Yeah.
It's not really
that
black
one.
and white. Sometimes it's pretty complex. It's like an onion. It's got layers.
Is it?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, like ogres.
Oh, you're stupid. You're
No,
stupid.
no. I'm just referential. That's what I am.
Yeah, you watch too many movies, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
maybe.
Maybe you need to get out of the house for once in a while and
I
see the
do.
world.
Oh, I'm starting to.
Starting to.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
I get out, but
Okay.
I'm getting out even more. Believe me, I am.
Don't worry, the air is fresh. I think so.
Mostly. Yeah,
I think you
mostly.
mean the air is free.
Oh, is it free?
I mean, depending where you go.
I didn't know this.
Unless you go on the airplane, that's
Is
not
that
free.
normal?
No.
No.
That's the first thing we're gonna say is not normal. But other than that,
Yeah.
normal is what you make of it. And honestly,
it is what you make of it.
well, that's the important thing because, like, you know what? Like I said, as well as a cycle, there's a process, and as we all know, a process, it just keeps on going. There's no end to the process. It's not like you do this, you do this, you do that,
Mhm.
and then it's done, and you don't have to do anything else to it. A process is you continually to feed it.
Mhm.
It's like something you continue to build upon and just keep moving and going forward with the occasion.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you're not making a process. You're just throwing things down,
Yeah.
which will eventually come to a means to an end.
Yeah.
And, like I said, so, my take on, as far as keeping on a normal area is that it's one thing to do your cycle. It's one thing to go about, your different aspects and, that type of matter. But like, it's also okay to, add other additions to your particular cycle. So like, what I'm saying here is it's okay to be one flexible person, very flexible mentally, physically,
I
and
just say it's okay to be weird.
Yeah.
that's for another conversation.
Because one person's weird is well, actually no. One person's normal could be another person's weird.
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
No, you had it.
Wow, that was actually the smartest thing you said today.
Is it though? I mean, maybe there's a few.
That was actually
points.
somewhat smart, but I actually want to consider it wise.
Yeah.
But I think we're not old enough to be wise just yet.
I mean, we're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah, no, we are. I
we're-
just hit
we're-
30, so I guess
we're
I'm
getting
on my way.
We're getting some white hairs yet, aren't we? I don't know about you.
Why you
We're
staring
not-
right at me as you said that?
I don't know. I'm actually looking for the white hairs on your
I'm
head.
looking at them.
If you have any, I know I have, but do you?
We all got some. We just don't want to say where it's at, okay?
Oh, that's fair enough. Let's wait
No,
for-
exactly. We don't want to get there to that
That's
point just
right.
yet,
That's
okay?
right. Yeah.
It's like you just
But
staring dead in my eyes.
Because I'm
and said it.
really trying to look for it. Do you
it's the lighting. You can't
Stop
see
looking.
it, okay?
Yeah.
But so yeah, I mean, being on that term of keeping that, in general normal, like, so you have the nerve to say that's not normal. You want to really think about why you're saying that's not normal, because you don't understand it, or is it because you just really don't like the way it looks or sounds or especially smells?
Or do you believe what everyone else says? So that's not
Yes,
normal?
are you a lion or are you a sheep?
No,
That's a nice
good
one.
point too.
Mhm. Like other people, when other people say it's normal, so do you believe the same thing that everyone else is saying about what is normal and what's not normal? And that's where opinions come in, of course.
Well, there's also an experiment I heard of where they have a guy in a room ask everyone in the room the same question, and they go to see how many people are answering because the other people are answering, because there's like one or two people in the room that are kind of like they meant to be there. They're kind of like purposely answering the questions. No, and then there's the one guy who's not a part of that group, and they're
Mhm.
seeing if they're answering because they answered, or they're seeing if he's being more of his own answers. And I thought it was an interesting experiment to watch.
Cool.
What's your general take on that?
Actually, I want you to leave it. Captain of the ship.
No, I mean, like I said, it's like to general, understanding, it's basically, it's like, wow, you never would think of something in a particular matter in that sense, but like, we're always one-way sided thinkers sometimes, especially when we're trying to get on board. It's like, you want to get something so badly out there that like there's not another way. Like, you're so tempted. Like, you ever been that one guy in the room? Everyone says go around the room and just like say something a little about yourselves, and you're that one guy who's in his chairs who's so anxious and ready to say something. Like, like sometimes you just kind of say it. Like, okay, you just say it so bad. It's like, wait a minute, that's not exactly what I wanted to say, but it came out that way. You ever heard it that it sounded a lot better in my head.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well,
That's
yeah.
how it works.
So like, sometimes being anxious can get you.
it's one of my jokes. They
yeah.
always sound better in my head.
Yeah.
No, I mean that's true because like some people. But then that's the thing. Being anxious is really going to get you on a way. It was like, oh man, that was
mean, yeah,
not
being-
how I wanted to portray that.
Being anxious or maybe being a little too sometimes being a little too open might lead to bad first impressions or some with people. And yeah, like it's important to like to read the room but you have your maybe your opinions and what things that you think are normal, but I think it's important to have an open mind with just about
Of course.
everything. Otherwise, because if you keep yourself closed-minded and there's only certain things certain list of things that you find normal, then it kind of limits you as a person and as a individual conversing with others. So
you know what I was partaking is that I feel like it not also comes on a matter of what you're comfortable with, but also how you're psychologically seeing it. Because you could, it could be the same process, the same matter in the same room.
Yeah.
And then there could be you looking at it one way and everybody else looking at it a totally different way. Now that's really interesting. And I feel like that's what defines what's on a normal base, because you could be thinking, oh, this is okay, everything's running smoothly, he's fine, she's fine. No one's kind of like, being, everyone's being calm and chill. And then you got that one guy. Now, there's always that one guy. Not all the time, but like just that one guy who's just very like, okay, let's get things going. Let's get things speeding. Let's get them moving. Like, we got to go. We got to go. Dude, we got like over 30 minutes left. Chill.
chill.
Yeah. No, but like it's just how some people portray. Like you could be like, okay, things are running smoothly, but then you got one guy's like, why you got to rush it? Because I just got to rush it. I just got to be fast.
Yeah.
Like it comes to the point where it's like you want to have it this way, and then you see somebody else is like, okay, I'm seeing it this way. Like you're seeing it as like a nice little supermarket. Everyone's just doing their thing, and then you got the other guy seeing it as a restaurant. He's ready to go. It's like you're doing the same thing, but you're seeing it in two different aspects.
Isn't that like a provoker or antagonizer or something like that?
Oh, it is. There's some antagonizing going on. It's just done mentally.
I know the word for it. Anyway.
Oh no, there is. I'm just not.
We'll get back to that word someday.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll come in my sleep.
If not tonight, maybe next week. Okay.
Oh yeah. By the way, talking in your sleep is actually slightly normal nowadays, guys. So don't be judging people for that occasion.
Oh,
Just to get the
I
hands out.
agree with that. I know. I actually know someone who talks in their sleep. And
Have you? Yeah,
it's becoming a norm, actually.
No. I've actually talked to somebody while they were sleeping, and they responded to me twice.
Wow.
Like literally, I was like kind of messing around. It was at a sleepover like 5 years ago, and I was sleeping at my friend's house in Long Branch, and I was, we're basically, we had a nice little night out. We came back, it was sleepover. Two of us were in the living room. Three of us were upstairs, and I was, I basically went in. I woke up in the middle of the night. Did whatever. Had a drink of water.
Yeah.
Someone was like, I'll do it in the morning, and I'll get the glue. I'll make sure it's delivered. I'm like, so when are you gonna do it? And this is just me, just like messing around with him. He's like, when are you gonna do it? He's like, yeah, I'll do it at 5 o'clock, and I'll do it at 5 a.m. Look at the time; it's like 4:45. Just imagine.
Yeah.
So like, it's, and then I reply. I was like, so when do you plan on getting on? He's like, next 5 hours or so. So it made no absolute sense, the conversation.
This
because the
was
times
all
were completely off. But
this is all in their sleep.
this is all in his sleep. But like, he did look at me. He kind of tweeted his head. He didn't open his eyes or nothing, but like tweeted his head. It's like, he was actually talking to the person. But like, I feel like if I didn't say anything, he wouldn't respond in that matter. So it was like, it was weird. But it had like, it was normal because he responded, but it was weird because it made no sense.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
I mean, it's like you were having
just saying,
having a conversation, which is a normal thing to do, but like with a guy who's like
the response was right,
half conscious,
The response timing was right,
yeah.
But the way the conversation goes was like completely abnormal.
Yeah,
because
they don't have they're not like awake up here, so it's like
Yeah, so that's
Their
their
subconscious.
mentality kind of moving,
Yeah.
but their physically is like,
Mm,
all right, what's going on?
yeah.
So like,
Also,
not
so was also dreaming. What were they seeing? So
Did
they
the-
probably
Did they see
what they were
anything? Did they
seeing
tell you about what they were
versus the
seeing?
conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, so but like the thing is,
Yeah.
obviously that's just a whole
Yeah.
psychological,
Yeah.
you know.
But on a side note, I know somebody who actually talks in their sleep, and it was something that kind of developed over the last several years. And they, like at a certain point at night when they're like deeper in their sleep, all of a sudden they don't. Sometimes you can hear clear words. Sometimes it's like just muddled, like, but like even though it's something that doesn't it's not supposed to happen, like when they sleep, like it's like nice quiet, maybe they're snoring, but this person talks in their sleep and it has become a normal thing. Nobody complains about it, so it's like we just kind of like happens, and it's like it becomes normal, even though for others, if they were bothered by it, they're like they'll complain. That's not normal, that shouldn't happen. But being that no one does complain, it actually it becomes a normal thing and keeps on being normal, even though for the most part it's something that usually doesn't, it's not supposed to happen normally, but it becomes
But
normal.
sometimes that's not normal. Also means I never seen that before.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, simple as that. Yeah,
I mean, yeah. So like,
but it becomes normal when it just keeps going. It's like
Yeah.
nothing's really changing, so I guess this is the way it is.
Well, when you get used to something, then it becomes
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah, and sometimes it's not a voluntary thing where you're doing it. It's like it's just almost when you're not doing something, then something will just become the norm. You know what I mean?
no, I mean a lot of that comes with just the natural like flow of how you live your life and what you do, and how you like behave. That was the word I wanted to use, like how you behave, because you know what,
Mhm.
you ever heard, like, I was talking about before, everyone's in the same rooms, one thing's happening,
Yeah.
everybody reacts differently.
Mhm.
Yeah, so like with that being said, is like how you like react to certain things too,
Yeah.
like,
How
and
action
like, first of all,
reaction.
if huge buildings caught on fire,
Yeah.
eh, the majority hopefully is going to react like, oh my god, that place is caught on fire.
Yeah.
And then you got the one guy's like, whoa, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, would you call him, and I'm not just pointing it out, but like,
Well, yeah.
most people would say that's not normal, but you know what? We don't know what he's seeing.
Or like
I hope it's not what I think, but I'm just saying,
that reminds me of
I
that.
had to point.
Yeah, oh, sorry.
No,
It reminds me
go
of
ahead.
that meme. It was like, I guess, is it like a burning building in the background, and in the foreground you see this little girl who's just staring sinisterly at the camera, like that. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Something a horror
I've
movie I've
seen it,
recently
Everyone
watched.
else is like trying to like
think
they're
I
staring
saw
in
it.
awe, and firefighters are going in, but then you got a picture of
I think I
the.
saw like once. I can't really remember.
It's like a popular meme where you see the little girl staring at the camera like, "Hmm, this is great. Whatever that is." So it's something like that. Like it could be because you bring up the topic of the burning building, so that reminded me of that. But getting back to like the subject of like normal stuff, I actually have a good example of where when I'm at my job and I do what I do, I work as food service. There's a lot like there is a routine and a lot of stuff that I do becomes like a normal thing for me to do to get the job done. However, there are things that happen like that I do, methods, like things that I have to do in order to accomplish the task at hand, and
Routines.
routines, yeah. And I find myself doing things that they do get the job done, but the company itself might not actually approve of those methods. I mean, the thing is, not all the time, it's not every day the supervisor, the direct supervisor, it's like the big boss comes by and looks exactly at what you're doing and be like, you know what, that's not the right way to do it. And so I kind of find myself, well, in my routine, there's certain things that I do that I kind of become normal for me. But because no one's saying anything, it remains like a normal routine. But like if someone were to come in and actually give their input and say, hey, that's not how you do it. I mean, I will usually adapt because it's my job and they tell me that I have to do it this way. Otherwise, you know. But I do find myself getting into setting myself in some ways of how I do things, and it becomes normal. and it'll keep staying normal until my supervisors will say otherwise. And I thought I'd share that as like an example of like a subject of stuff being normal. It happens to me every day. Like I do this normally, but should I be doing this? Maybe not. But
So you know what's funny? You actually probably brought on like the hidden definition of what that actually is,
yeah,
which probably beat this whole
yeah.
what possibly feels like 30 minutes of us
Oh
talking
yeah, I
just
hit
now.
nail on the head.
Yo, give me a second. This might be the smartest thing you ever said. But so
Yeah.
being that said, is that I feel like normal is being normal. Are you guys ready? All right. Being normal is what flows. Because you did it so many times, it flows right. Nothing went wrong. You just it still got it might not have been what they wanted, but it went. It kept going, and like that's why I figured people have their own idea, and they say that's not normal because just because it doesn't flow your way, it flows their way. So that is their normal. So to be normal is to flow.
Yeah, and like stuff that's not normal, when the flow breaks, that's when
Then you'll say it's not normal.
when we freak out.
Yeah, I think we just cracked one of the hidden eggs.
yeah.
No, I mean
Good
not
question.
that anybody else has, but like what
Yeah.
we're doing the whole thing on it. So
So yeah, that was quite a conversation. We hit that nail, didn't we?
no, but like it is to actually flow
Yeah.
and to actually just have it work well,
Yeah.
to make sense and to like
Makes sense. Keep
yeah,
it.
exactly, and it keeps you growing
Mhm.
and it keeps you in your big boy shoes.
Yeah.
You know?
So speaking of flow, what you just listened to, guys, was a session of our podcast called Emotion. And since this is our first episode, we'd briefly like to say what is our objective here with our podcast, besides, of course, having these possibly enlightening conversations for all you viewers out there. What is our goal, Aaron, with our podcast?
Well, as Justin said, it's called In Motion,
Yeah.
and there was some timing on why that was,
Mhm.
but over weeks, it became much clearer is that okay, so we have a passion, and not only do we try to keep that passion, but we're also trying to exploit that passion. So, for example, we're trying to get other people to have their passion to exploit, to why they create what they want to do, and we want to keep things moving forward in not just like physically. I mean, physically is physically, we're always walking, we're always making moves, but like mentally, as far as like keeping a path, like this is why we have dreams, when people say you have dreams and stuff like that. So we want to proceed things forward. So the idea is moving forward.
Mhm.
And with that being said, we like to keep things that going with, small businesses,
Yes, exactly.
good causes,
And that's our goal with our podcast, is to open up a conversation with local businesses and artists and people who want to like get exposure, get them out there to tell people what they're about and what they do and what they want to promote. But we want to do that by providing a platform for them to chat, to talk, and to to collaborate in a way with them to get the word out there for them. And also along the way, we're hoping to motivate, inspire, and influence. And we want to do that in a positive light. And we want to be genuine with each other about how we feel and what we think. And in the process, we help them promote what they want to achieve. And we might entertain ourselves along the way and entertain you. And that's our goal with this podcast.
Well, yeah. So, as well as, trying to keep that, we want to enlighten passions. We want to proceed, those general passions,
And we want to contribute to the community by spreading the word and to make a difference.
Yeah. So
simply by just broadcasting and being.
Everyone's got a dream. Everyone has a goal, and some people don't know maybe how to exploit that.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to be that open doorway to make that possible, because you know what, everybody needs that stepping stone. I mean,
Yeah, and again, speaking of local, we basically our podcast is based in the Monmouth County area here in New Jersey, and we're hoping to steadily grow our podcast and hopefully reach out to more businesses along the way. So, being this is the start, we're hoping for a bigger and brighter future for anyone who comes on our show and our podcast itself. Right?
Yeah, so we'll be taking in people who are like trying to start their own businesses, or trying to raise money for good causes. We want to make a change. We want to try to make a difference. We want to be an extra platform. We want to be able to not only do that, but we want to be very flexible. We want to really make those extra steps. We want to try to go above and beyond in the best ways possible.
Yeah.
So
speaking of being flexible, not only do we have ourselves a studio space here in Monmouth County, particularly in Aberdeen, we're in Aberdeen, right? Yeah, in Aberdeen. But we do also we have the technology to broadcast in other locations. And if we have certain guests who can't make it, say to our studio space, we can certainly figure out a way to broadcast in other locations. And we have the technology to make that happen. So
we'll be pretty like mobile about how we do things. Actually that was a good idea with being flexible, but
to keep it in motion.
Well, yeah, of course. So like the biggest thing is so we, from our last couple of cards, we have so like for some of you saw on Facebook, we'll be doing this on Facebook. Some of you guys know about YouTube channel. We'll have a YouTube channel. And from here now and then, we'll be, still advertising on my Taste Tours prints for those of you guys who like know about it. For also at the same moment, it's basically so basically how is like we'll be kind of moving things into bigger and better areas. So like from here and there, you'll see different things on how we advertise this. So just watch on Taste Tours.
Which is your Instagram for?
Yes, that's the business one I use. So keep up to date.
And we have all that information there for them to look at, like all right on the.
Yeah. It's open page, not a private page. You can just look right at it and see what's going on. I do encourage you to follow to know that I got the support, which is awesome because, like I said, as I'm willing to help and support any small businesses, good causes. I'm hoping I got people supporting me on my side too to try to help make a change. So, I would appreciate it. But other than that, like I said, we're going to keep things moving and we're going to keep striding. We're going to just build it up strongly. And guess what? We're on the move.
And welcome, folks, to Emotion. I guess that's it for tonight. Aaron, what do you think?
No, I feel like we've done it perfectly. Like I said, we'll still be in touch and we're going to keep things on us, right?
So stay tuned, guys. Each week we'll definitely try to put out some content for you, and hoping that we somehow motivate, inspire, and influence you in a positive way.
Yep. So Monday at 9:30.
Yep.
So we'll be spicing that up.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm still rolling.
Mm-hmm. So everyone, hope you have a wonderful evening. Be kind, be genuine, be open, stay emotional.
Good night, stay positive, and keep the passion flowing.
Stay weird. Right. See you guys.
Adios.
I had to.